What's going on, everyone? John here, the Wolf of Ecom, and in this video, I'm going to show you one of the best strategies to use in 2020 and probably even going into next year. In all honesty, I've been using this strategy for testing for a year and a half now, and it's been one of the best ways to approach a lot of products. Okay, so I'm going to walk through that with you right now, and in one of my active stores that we're using this exact process with. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, before we start, something I do want to say is that this strategy is actually perfect for people that are on smaller budgets, right? So once you're not on small budget or a smaller budget, it definitely works as well. It's very efficient with your money. There's less waste. There's less money just being burnt that Facebook will just spend, because if you give it the budget to spend, it will absolutely spend it, as long as your ads don't obviously get disapproved, which is another whole topic we talk about later today. But what you want to realize is that when you're on smaller budgets, Facebook tends to be smarter with your money. So this is perfect if you're just getting started, if you're afraid of losing a bunch of money at the start, or if you just don't really know what you're doing yet, right? And once you do know what you're doing, I recommend you still do this anyway, because this is a very efficient way to get really inexpensive, high quality traffic. So let's go ahead and walk through everything right now. All right, so I could have done one of those tutorial videos where we just set it up and I show you the setup itself. I'm going to give you the bits and pieces, but you will understand the concept as a whole. There's a couple different ways to approach it, but there's really 3 phases here, okay? So this specific product is in phase 2 now, right? So phase 1 is going to be where we are testing creatives. We test creatives to narrow down the best performing creatives that we can find, the ones that have the best, the lowest CPMs or lower CPMs, the highest amount of engagement and click-through rate, and the lowest cost per click. And you're gonna see the difference here, right? So keep in mind, we'll just drop down to the ad level. I'm only doing 1 ad per ad set, so it doesn't really matter which level we look at. You can actually see the setup and structure here, right? So I don't know why the ads aren't showing, but it's 1 ad per ad set, okay? And what I want you to pay attention to here, if I change this to a lifetime, check this out. So not only is this campaign profitable, right? So I just want to mention that we're probably missing 30% of reported sales because we use an app called BetterCart, and BetterCart's post-purchase upsell, which we get 10 to 20% of our customers to make additional purchases, is not reported within Facebook. And Facebook is also imperfect in itself. So I'm actually probably missing 10 to 20% of our base sales, right? Just from actual transactions, not post-purchase. So the first thing I'm looking for here is, remember, like I said, CPMs close to the $10 mark, but really I could go up as high as 20, as long as the engagement is high as well. And then that results in a low cost per click, right? So what you want to do is the way you could set this up, there's a couple different ways. What I typically do is I want to be spending a total of $30 to $50 a day, and I can divide it up based on how many videos. Let's say I have a product that I have 3 videos with, right? There's 3 videos, and I am dividing up the test, and I want to see which video performs best with the best thumbnail, with the best version of copy. Real simple, right? So I could do maybe 30 ad sets. Ad set 1 through 10 will be the first video, ad set 11 through 20 will be the second video, and ad set 21 through 30 will be the third video. They'll all have the same versions of copy. They'll all have the same versions of thumbnails as well. So you really have to just break down the math however you want to do it. So for example, this one, we had 1 video. So I chose to do 15 ad sets, right, at $2 a day, so $30 a day, and 1 ad per ad set, right? Like I said, so we're spending $30 a day. And what I did differently here, you can see the T stands for the thumbnail. So there's 5 different thumbnails: video 1, thumbnail 1, video 1, thumbnail 2, video 1, thumbnail 3, video 1, thumbnail 4, right? So you get the idea. The difference is the copy, right? So once I made these first 5 ads, remember it's 1 ad per ad set, I duplicated this, and all I did, I changed the text, I changed the copy, because they already had different versions of thumbnails. And that's what we made here. We made the second version of text, and then once again, I duplicated it again, and then I changed the text as well. So where is it? Yeah, so C3 is copy 3. So there's no perfect way to do it. Like I said, if you have more videos, obviously you're gonna use less versions of thumbnails, less versions of different ad copy, right? But that's just a general idea. So don't overthink this part. You just want to give Facebook a mix of different versions of ads, right? And there's your three variables: the video, the thumbnail, and then also the text that goes with it, okay? You could also test other versions. You could test carousel ads, you could test carousel video ads, you can test image ads, you can test slideshow ads, right? There's a million different ways. Traditionally speaking, videos are going to be one of the best, all right? So just keep that in mind, okay? What I'm looking for here is I want to see these guys spend at least 10 bucks a day, or sorry, 10 bucks in total. And these have spent well past that. I could probably turn a few off if I wanted to. But nonetheless, you can see here now that these ads we've got are kind of our stable numbers. Like, this shouldn't change a whole lot. Even when I move it over to additional interests, they're going to be pretty much the same, okay? So remember, just to recap on this setup, you want to spend $30 to $50 a day, and you divide up your budget. I recommend a minimum of $1, a maximum of $3, maybe as much as $5 per ad set. Depends how you want to divide it up into one ad per ad set. And you want different variations of the video if possible. If not, then different variations have more heavily of the thumbnail, and different variations obviously of the text or the ad copy. Okay, so what happened was I let this spend. Okay, so it's been 10 days since we launched this. About probably 10 days ago, once we hit our numbers for minimum spends for that $10 mark, I then sorted by the number of clicks, because they've all spent the same amount of money. And I pulled the best ones that had maybe a little bit higher CPM. It's all about the same, but really the highest level of engagement, the lowest cost per click, okay? And the main reason why I'm moving forward, well, there's two reasons. One is because I'm getting that 50 cent to $1 cost per click mark. Two, I'm getting high engagement, okay? And so I wouldn't even be proceeding to the next phase if I was getting like $50 CPMs, $2 to $3 a click, 0.5% click-through rate. That's just not good, right? So you wouldn't do it, okay? So general rule of thumb, $10 and $20 CPMs. If it's less than 10, fantastic. You could probably afford a little bit more in CPMs if your click-through rate is extremely high, right? So good rule of thumb for click-through rate all would be like, I want to see no less than 2.5 to 3.5% minimum or more. And then for click-through rate link, the percentage of people that see the ad and click on the ad to go to the store, I want to see like 1 to 1.5% at minimum. Those should result in that 50 cent to $1 mark, okay? If you're getting $2 to $3 clicks, it's gonna be very hard to scale a product, let alone be profitable with it, unless it's a really high ticket item or a higher dollar, $100, $150 item, okay? The second thing we're looking for are add to carts. Clearly there were a lot of add to carts, and they're still rolling in, and we're getting them very cheap and inexpensive, okay? And the third thing you're looking for, and this should happen depending how you're dividing up your spend per ad set, you should be seeing some sales coming in probably by the $7 to $10 mark, especially if you're getting your add to carts rolling in. And then if you're profitable, that's another huge indicator. Basically, once about 10 bucks per ad has spent, then it's time to pick your best ones, assuming you met all those conditions we talked about, and move forward to the next phase. Next phase is going to be where we actually test interest. And this is where this product is right now. All right, so you can see here, this has only been running for, it's more aggressive. So we're doing $5 a day for the interest testing. You can do 3, you can do 2 again. Just really depends on how soon you want to find the winner. Obviously, you spend more money, you're going to get there a little bit faster, maybe not as efficient, but a little bit faster. But yeah, so this is going to keep going, right? So every single interest has had add to carts come in, and that was by the $10 mark, which is a great sign. Still getting a kind of a mix of cost per clicks, but overall it's okay, because look at our cost per add to cart, right? And then we're getting purchases, and this is missing sales. So this is actually profitable as well, or at least close to break even. And yeah, this is lining up to be a great product, guys and gals and people. So this is what you want to look for in this, okay? So remember, for the next phase, you're going to pull your top 3 ads from that first phase where you're doing just creative testing. You're going to move them into interests, okay? So like each one of these has 3 ads per ad set, And what you want to do is you just want to let this thing cook. You want to just let it sit here. You don't want to rush this. You want to give it time. These numbers do improve over time. It's really interesting to watch, right? So the first day you launch a campaign, CPMs are high, cost per click is high, click-through rate's low, and that should improve as things optimize. So just keep that in mind. I've made other videos about that as well. Now, what you also want to think about here too is once you have 4 interests, that let's say that this one has 2 sales, this one has 3. Let's say this one gets 4 sales, and then this one gets 5 sales in the next 2 to 3 days. I'm going to duplicate this, start as low as 50, as high as 100, and I'm going to move it into a CBO campaign. Okay, so we'll just call this CBO 1. All right, so what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go CBO, the CBO campaign itself, not the ad sets. I'm gonna scroll down and I'm gonna go campaign budget optimization. Remember, I wanna do a minimum of 50 and then a maximum of 100, okay? And that's it. There's no magic secrets here, okay? Now, if I go back to the ad set level, just to show you the targeting, it's very simple. So I don't do expanded interest, I just do the single interest. We're going all here. You could go, there's a cosmetic, so I might go woman only, but you could just leave manual, optimize for women typically. And I just do all placements, okay? And yeah, so this product is just cooking. I just wanted to show the strategy because I get asked a lot, how do you test if you don't have a lot of money? This is how I would do it. The next thing I want to do is show you this strategy working, okay? So this is a product that we've been running for, I just got my ad account shut down on Sunday, and here it is Tuesday, and it just got reactivated. So let's look at this. So you can see this is scaling up, and if I go to the campaigns, let me find it real quick. All right, so I've got the campaign now. Let me pop in. So we just got our ad account back today. Pretty annoying. It was shut down for Sunday and Monday, and we did a relaunch, which is fine. But I just want to show you this real quick. So we started this on the 2nd. We ran it through the 10th. It's missing about $2,300 in sales or $2,000 almost in sales. But nonetheless, we're getting really good numbers with this, right? So it's almost 2 ROAS, 2,800 spend, and we made 5306, right? 5,600 would be 2 ROAS. Yeah, we're pretty darn close. But you can even see like the last day it was live, not counting today, Saturday the 10th, it actually reported 2 ROAS, 2.11, but we've actually had well more than that. All right, so hopefully getting this back on track. The relaunch is still optimizing, but I want to show you what comes next, right? So I went over the first 2 phases for the low budget strategy. The first is going to be your creative testing. You want to spend $30 to $50 a day and divide that up based on the number of videos you have, and those can be $1 ad sets, $2 ad sets, $3 ad sets, right? So if you're spending $50 a day in all 3 examples, you could do 50 ad sets at $1 a day, 25 ad sets at $2 a day, or you could do 10 ad sets at $5 a day. I wouldn't recommend that. I'd recommend like $1 to $3, but obviously it was an odd number, so I just give you that example. Once you find your best 3 creatives, the best 3 ads that have the lowest cost per click, a lower CPM, a high level of engagement and click-through rate, and then ideally, if the product is getting added to carts and preferably purchases if possible, then you move to the next phase. You pull the best 3 ads and you put them into different interests. And that can be a test done at $3 a day. It can be a test done at $5 a day per ad set. It's really up to you. And you're going to want to spend probably about $40 to $60 in total. So just divide up the ad sets and the budget, and you'll figure out what makes sense for you. And you let that run. And once you have identified your best, here's what I want to show you in this ad account. Now, I got this ad account back, super excited. So what we did, we saw that several ad sets had multiple sales, okay? So for example, if I was to repeat this whole process right now from this step, going into phase 3, we've checked off our creatives, we've identified our interests, right? So these are our interests. I'm gonna grab the top 4 first. These are the top 4 because they have multiple sales, like 3 plus sales. Obviously these have more than that. I would duplicate this and put it into a CBO like we talked about. And then I would go to these next 4 because they all meet that criteria. And I would duplicate these and put that into the CBO. And then after that, you could, these are kind of weaker here, but you could do these. And I'd probably wait to make that 3rd CBO just because we don't, these guys, they get killed off. I might be able to, it was just lost a lot of money. They weren't very strong. So you put those into CBOs like I showed you, like each one of these has 4 ads per ad set. And you just let these cook and you let them optimize. And we talk about that in another video and also in our course, which you should definitely check out. There's a link in the description. We've got a big sale going on for it just for Q4 to help you get started. But that's it, guys. This is my strategy. This is how you can get your store to do as much as 1K a day very profitably. Just like you saw here, this is a brand new product and we scaled it up while making money, right? Which is the most important part. And that's it. So hope you have a great Q4. And as always, shoot me a message if you have any questions and drop them in the comments below. See you in the next video.